It's funny for someone that started out saying that he couldn't, I told myself a lot, that I could neither write about war nor sex, let alone women. I ended up, uh, Margaret MacDonald, who was talked about in this wonderful book by Susan Mann called Imperial Daughter. Margaret MacDonald was the head of the nursing sisters overseas, and she shows up in Sapp's War, much to my surprise. The first time we see her is in a chapter called Ever Damn Lasting, and she lives out down east. She's come to Toronto for this reunion, and here we go. Ever Damn Lasting. She makes her way east towards what was once downtown, before the straight, shabby arrow of Yonge Street drew investors west to the streets above Union Station, fountainhead to a city best reached, even in 1935, by rail. By train, not rain on November roads, sleeting black in the lightless white of the King's Highway. The lake was as dangerous as ever, more so than the very ocean, whose depths needed all the earth to shake them outrageous. Here, one crack of winter wind could whip Ontario's meagre fathoms into waves as high and baseless as the King Edward Hotel. That had been her first stop. It was on her way, and frankly, one of the few Toronto options she had. Her income was gone, but her status, not to mention her rank, she was a major, was not. The fact that she'd strung bows like plaster pearls around her over-kissed neck, that she could still dance and drink the best of her generation under the table, be that in a restaurant or a field hospital, was almost as irrelevant as antique genocide, vanished loyalties, or that she had once been young. The reality of it, she is on the run from herself, hardly enters her forthright mind. She steps over the bodies of men she may once have tended, or more likely commanded to be tended, their feet sticking out of doorways, to trip her up with one more act of mercy, as if she had never done more than sail across half the world to dance and sew. No, all she wants is to see her girls again. That, and just possibly, to feel like one herself. Sisters. She wasn't indifferent, just wise to the ways of emergency. Men, emerging from the cast of war, needed seconds to live or die. Whether a man reached the battalion aid post, whether or not he could walk to the CCS, Casualty Clearing Station, where the first sisters waited, made graves or saved more lives than were lost outright. After that it was all smoke and mirrors, mostly. The moments of emergency are diffident as old teeth. No one would believe the sheer amount of cooked flesh they rendered pulp for war's maw, bolted down like so many fish from the barrels that served them up. Past that mouth, the jaws of well enough to make it home generally passed them on, all that was left of them, their laceless shoes, thrown into the road for luck. These men were long lost. Only their names were missing from the cenotaphs that pinned each city in Canada from sea to sea. Empty graves, that's what cenotaph means, as if there could be full. Her mind was wandering, so was she. Lower Jarvis Street beckoned her with crinkled gentility, made a curtsy in straits that strained and snapped like old corset bones. Get there. Just get me to the ever-damn-lasting stoop on time, before I look down. She wailed within, for all her discharged memories to hear, at the least of these, cast away from our blood-red hands, and stop walking on forever.